Greetings and salutations. I'm gonna draw today. Big shocker, I know. Let's get into it. Oh wait, this is the wrong brush. I hope these lines are visible. Not really. That's a little better. Something like this. The legs are actually not that important, because I want to do like this thing. I think I can lower that a little more. But just like always, the head's way too big. One day I will learn to not do that. I think something like that, I guess. And we have like a bench going on. What if I instead make it Maximus, hello. Welcome. And I don't know about masterpiece, but drawing a sleepy boy today. Let's say there's like a Actually, I'm just gonna have this whole thing go off screen. 'Cause I can. I think I want his hat a little higher up. Like here. It is in fact a junior drawing today. I need his head to stay roughly the same size, but I want the rest of him to be a little bigger in the frame. Something like that seems fine. I actually want to move this. A little more this way, I think. I'm looking at like a combination of different photos for the reference here that are like not at all similar. So the major portion of this that I'm currently dealing with is trying to make sure the pieces kind of fit together. Oops. But what I want here is like he's got his hat sort of resting on his head, like on his face. This needs to come further down. Something? Something. I'm kind of like concerned that it's not going to read very well though, is the thing. So I don't know. Maybe let's not do this after all. I'm not feeling it. I do kind of want to do a junior drawing still. Oh, you know, maybe I can do a... I haven't done Cecil in a minute either, so let me try him.
You're gonna make one swell bear.
Takuma, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. I'm glad that you like it. Maybe I'll just full on do this pose from this reference. So this is kind of more like that shape. These hands are like way too big. But that's not the important part right now. Something like this for that shape. These arms come a little further down here like this. This one kind of comes this way. So I think I need to tilt this a little more. Thank you, Gweeb. Gwib. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, so I apologize, but thank you. Oh no, your internet cut off. I'm sorry to hear that. And you didn't miss much. I've decided to change to a Cecil drawing instead. And that's about all you've missed. think this still needs to be a little smaller. I am not a skater, bro. I really want to play Ollie Ollie World. So I was debating on if I should like do that instead of draw on stream. I was like, no, I'll draw. That's usually what people come here for. So we may as well. Plus, I was debating on if I wanted to get it on Steam or on Switch, because I think it's on Switch. And I'm currently leaning towards Switch, which means I wouldn't even be able to stream it, because I don't have a capture thingy for my Switch. Had fun when I played the alligator game. I'm looking for a new game to play, I guess, is the real situation going on here. What is up with what's happening? Why is everything feel weird? I think these are still too large. I could bring those down. Rico, hello. But yeah, I recently finished Inscription, which is very good. But now I need a new thing to play. And Ollie Ollie World looks fun. So I was like, maybe I'll play that. But maybe I'll play it on my Switch so that I don't have to get out of bed to play it. Maybe that instead. These hands are like simultaneously too small and too big. And it's bothersome. Just got Dying Light 2, nice. I didn't play the first one, but I hope you're enjoying it. Pokemon giving you your serotonin. I feel you. I kind of want to give Cecil a new haircut. Even though I just made a whole pattern about it. Where he has his mohawk still. Yesterday. I was watching this anime though about like vampires. Couldn't think of the word. And one of the characters has a haircut that's like kind of this shape in the front, like with the bangs. And I was like, dang. Cecil could probably probably rock that haircut, I think. And then I remembered, oh yeah, he had long hair at one point. What's it called? I don't remember. Something about Vanitas. I only saw one episode, and I was like, oh man. Neat characters. These hands are too small. I think it's like new for this season. I can't fully tell what kind of anime it is though. I just saw it on Crunchyroll, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll check this out and see what it's like. Because the other one that I checked out on Crunchyroll, I was like, oh, I feel like if I watch this, I would watch it. Like, I wouldn't enjoy it, but I would watch it. Just because it seems like, I don't know, not my thing. But I'm like intrigued about the world in a way. But at the same time, I don't care. That one, I don't remember the name of either. But it was about, it was like not quite an isekai where like a person goes to a magical world, but it's like a world that is magical, right? And there's a dude who was like the strongest dude, and he was like, I am too strong, how can I get stronger than what I am right now? And then he was like, I know, I'll use my magic to reincarnate myself so that the magic seal that I have can become a different magic seal and become stronger. And so he does this. I'm gonna move this forward some, and so he does this, right? And he gets like reincarnated, but it's like thousands of years later. And he wasn't, I guess, expecting it to be thousands of years or something. And so what had happened while he was gone is that he thought he killed like all of the demons that were extant in this magic world before he like did this reincarnation thing, but he didn't. And the ones that were left have like spread throughout the world and have like implanted themselves within human society and have made them slightly weaker over time. So now everybody who casts magic has to like recite a spell instead of just being able to do it, because they were like taught by the powerful wizards that having the ability to just like do it is like worse somehow. So now he's like super duper strong for no reason and also a 12-year-old, and it's like I don't know if I care. I'm not sure if I care about this. But I'm like interested in the whole premise of like this magical world and stuff. %, sure it's Futurama. It's not Futurama. It's close though. Thoughts on Nintendo Direct? I want the Kirby game, and that was pretty much all that I cared about in the whole thing. I was like, oh yeah, Wii Sports is back, that's cool. But the only reason everybody played it was because it was free. Like, now you're trying to charge people for it. I don't know. I don't know about that one. It might not work so great. People may not care. Disney got their own Mickey Mouse branded Mario Kart. So good for them, I guess. That was neat. And then like a bunch of RPGs that I don't really care about at all, unfortunately. Alright, I think this eye is too big, and that might be what's throwing me off about this face size so much. Yeah, and they were like, it's coming out in a month or something. I was like, oh, geez. wild, crazy, but also you love to see it. We're gonna say that either Cecil got a wig for this particular image or it's a relative. Because I want to draw this hairstyle. The backstory behind Cecil, he's just not a nice person. There is some lore there, though. About like why he's not super nice. Maybe I'll get into it someday, who knows. We need the tea. Lost his dreams to NFTs? No. No one is that terrible in this world. The like gist of it, as far as like why he specifically is always bothering Tank and Jesse, at least in my head, is he's got like a, what the heck was that girl's name? Veruca Salt? Is that her name? He's got like that kind of a complex. The girl from thingy. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Jeez, I could not think of the name for the life of me. Where it was like, I want this. And because he can't have it, he's mad. Because he's been given everything else.
You're gonna make one swell bear.
Dumb art, boyo. I'm sure you're not dumb, but thank you for the follow. Write that down, write that down. How rich is he exactly? He is, his dad owns the town that they all live in. So probably not like monumentally rich, but rich compared to everyone else who lives there. Bear boy, hello. How's your birthday? And happy birthday. I don't remember if I said anything about it. Or wait, was that just the birthday for those boys? Oh no. Oh, it goes well, okay. Whew. Twitch chat delay got me again. Out here second guessing all my thoughts. World may never know. Oh no. Well, now I'm second guessing again. I'm second guessing my second guess. Is that a third guess or a fourth guess? I'm not sure. Started second guessing as I was typing. Oh no. An ageless eldritch being. I mean, I would believe it. That's why he uses JW in his name. It's because the actual words are unpronounceable, indecipherable, and unspeakable. To know his true name is to know horror itself. To stare deep into the abyss of the universe and have it call back to you. So he just goes for JW instead. Which, you know, like, thanks, man. The actual name would take a millennia to pronounce. It's true. To know it is to know the origin of the universe and all things within it. Giving you too much power. I cannot give that which you already have. The power is yours already. I don't know how I feel about this hair bit, but I'm gonna leave it for now. And see if perhaps I have a better idea later. Ah. One of my favorite things are inexplicable anime cowlicks. Like, what's this doing? What's your deal? What are you doing out there? Nobody knows. I need this to kind of taper in a little sooner here. Helicalix. But are they anime though? But is it fashion? If Tank had a voice, what would he sound like? I don't know. I feel like I get that question a lot. And I always have the same, like, non-answer. But it's one of those things where if it's like... If I had to sit down and, like, listen to a bunch of voice actors or something, like... Be like, oh yeah, this is the voice. Like, I would know it when I hear it, kind of thing, right? What's this hair about? What's this hair doing, y'all? I don't know. I've been thinking too much about the JW. This hair is now like some sort of non-Euclidean, indecipherable tesseract configuration. We're just gonna like breeze through it and hope no one calls me out on it in the DMs and their responses on Twitter and Instagram. So nobody out there call me out. Don't do it. No. Oh right, I was gonna give him like you would love to voice them. You'll audition for all of them. If that ever becomes a thing, I will be sure to let you know.
And you're gonna make one swell bear.
Capica. Thanks for the follow. And hello. How are you? I hope all is well. Sign up as well. Everybody's getting all ahead of themselves. I don't know when this is gonna happen. Doing fine, just chilling. Nice. I'm also doing fine. And am just chilling. Here in the chat with my friends. Everyone in the chat is my friend. In case you didn't know. All you lurkers out there, you're my friends now. Deal with it. If you didn't know, now you know. We're buddies and I'll defend you online, probably. They can't handle the commitment. Oh no. Chilling at Cedar Rapids. Hold on. That's much more entertaining than the thing I said. How's that going? I'm gonna do a thing where I just put some more hair here because I don't want to draw this eye behind this strand of hair. So we're doing that now. It's like that Portlandia bit about just put a bird on it. Only it's a strand of hair. That's the secret to all the best anime hair. Don't know what's going on? Put some more hair there. No one has to know. More hair, more cooler. It's true. The wilder the hair, the more main character the character. Or something. Although at least for like an attempt at perspective here. Alright, well first of all, this needs to be at least kind of, sort of, in a way that makes sense. I'm gonna spend 80 years on this haircut because I don't know how I'm even... I don't even know what I'm doing. The thing I was going to say is that I should, like, at least kind of attempt some perspective here and put the things behind actually. I guess that's fine. Covering things you don't want to draw. It's true. I'm mostly just kind of focused on his hands at this point in time. But, you know, fall back on the old hands in the pockets move. That's what I call it because that's usually how it manifests. That thing where, like, when you're starting to draw and you don't like to draw hands, so you don't want to draw hands, and so you just make all your characters always have their hands in their pockets at all times, so that you don't have to confront your fears of drawing hands. Love the talking avatar. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. I need to lower this so I can see what I'm doing. The irony is that I do in fact want to draw hands, but I only want to draw these hands, and I don't want to draw the rest of the things here. Maybe I should just draw the view from inside the pocket. And then it's like, I draw everything. I only draw the hands. I mean, I don't draw anything else but the hands. What a concept, what a maneuver. I'm just kind of drawing a big old shape because I don't really know what I'm going to do exactly here yet. I think I need all of these to be like that, probably. That needs to be up there, probably. I guess I can turn this off for now. Can probably bring one of these down here. Be not afraid. Turnip. Hello. I was tempted to ask how the tax evasion is going, but then I realized that might be a little obscure. And I think you would probably be the only other person in the chat to know about what game I was talking about. And that's only because I brought it to your attention, because Steam won't stop telling me about how it's on sale. Arameus, you got it. You're out here. I see you. Don't out the person for tax evasion. No. I would never do that. There's a game called, what is it, like Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion or something like that. It's very delightful looking. Not an Animal Crossing reference, no. It's a literal game. I would suggest checking it out, because maybe it'll be a game for you. I'm all about indie games and smaller games these days, because I don't really usually have time to play very many huge AAA things. Really the only like big game I play anymore is Destiny, and then everything else is like a smaller, shorter game that I can feel proud about completing, because I don't have time for anything anymore. My life has gotten away from me. It's all art now, all the way down. Drawing and thinking about drawing, and thinking about how I should be drawing and not drawing. Yeah, it's a good title. I enjoy it a lot. And also it's like very adorable. So again, do recommend checking it out. That reminds me, there is another game that I have been meaning to play that I still haven't played yet. I can't remember the name of it though. But the premise is about this girl who travels to the Pacific Northwest and becomes a mail carrier person. It seems like a nice chill game, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called. The demo is free though, so I have it in my Steam library. I could pull it up, I guess. If you guys really want me to, I will. A mail carrier. Not that kind. Waiting for the ending? Wait, did I miss a thing in the chat? I'm confused. Oh, Endling. I have not heard of that. Sounds like it could be neat though. Would this really all be in shadow like this? I guess so, huh? Probably not all of that, though.
You're gonna make one swell bear.
J-Mac, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Trying to avoid Euphoria spoilers. Best of luck to you for that. I have to watch it every day, like it comes out immediately, because Twitter will spoil it for me. Mama Fox taking care of 3 endlings. That sounds delightful. And you're welcome, J-Mac. Big fan of from Twitter. I am deeply humbled. Amazing how quick. I feel like spoilers just like for anything are so fast now. To the point where it's like, man, I just really have to not be on the internet at all until I consume this media. Because Demon Slayer spoilers did go up quite fast this week, as did Attack on Titan stuff, and I was like, man, just give me a minute, y'all. Let me live my life. I want to be here for your memes and your fun times, but also, like, can I have a second? Because the memes are always, like, so good. So it's like, I want to see the memes, but just, like, chill out for a sec. Let me get there. Let me join you in this moment. This moment we're having. We could have it together if you just wait for me. I did the thing again where I forgot about his little... that. Oh, I should probably actually draw his eyes before I forget about those two. Or his eye, because I don't want to draw the other one. News Demon Slayer was insane. It was pretty good. It was beautiful. That was my favorite part about it. I'm one of those people that, like, someone described it on Twitter this way the best. And I cannot remember who it was that said it, but they were like, someone said to them, like, why do you even care about this anime? The story is so predictable and boring. And it's like, if I want a good story, I would read the manga, but I don't. I'm here for the animation. It's a beautiful show. Like, yes, you can spoil it, and I'll be sad about that, because the plot is, like, good and compelling, to me at least. But, like, I just want to see the cool fight scenes, mostly. And that's the part that always kind of, like, bums me out when folks spoil it with, like, oh, man, check out this sick action scene, and it's like... yeah, it's cool, but, like, seeing it in context is so much better. So I hate having, like, those kind of moments ruined. Those are the ones that make me the saddest. Where it's like, yeah, the plot, sure, I'll be bummed about it for a little while, but also, you know, I'll live. But it's just like the really, really cool scenes. Those are always really great. But I mean, of course, ideally, I would rather not have anything spoiled at all. I'm the type of person who, like, once I have made it up in my head that I'm going to go see a movie, I will not watch anything for this movie until I go see the film. Like, if it's like, oh, a new Avengers thing is happening, I'm probably going to go see that. I don't need to see 18 trailers because it's just going to give away half the movie. And then when I go see it, it's not going to be as good. So it's like, don't even tell me who's in it. Just tell me when it's happening. Tell me what day I need to show up to the theater and it'll be fine. Do I prefer anime or manga in a general sense? I usually prefer anime because I like animation more. I have a very childlike attention span in that regard, where it's like, oh man, pretty colors, sick. Look at that cool thing that happened. Wow. I have a friend though who's like the opposite of me in that way though, where it's like he has to read the manga because he cannot pay like enough attention to the anime to care for like the pacing and the dialogue and stuff like that, where it's like in the manga you can just it's as fast as you can read, so you can get through it very quickly in a very short amount of time. I think I want this to be a little more over here. But yeah, there have only been like a handful of times where I've like sought out a manga to read. But most, like, the only times I can think of that happening were because it was like, I want this to be an anime and it's not yet. But in some cases it is like legitimately beautiful, and like a much better way to experience certain things in a story. I mean, I guess they have their pros and cons, right? So it's either way. One of the ones that I always come back to is Air Gear, which was so good. I come back to that in my brain a lot. Where like seeing it animated was cool because it's all about like skating and doing tricks and stuff. So like getting to see those things in motion is pretty rad, right? But they only really did like a season of it and then like an OVA, I think. And then it was just like, well, if I want to see how this story ends, I'm going to have to read. So I did that. And it was like good for a different reason. Like the animation stuff was really cool, like getting to see all the tricks. But the way in which they convey motion in the story, in the art for the manga, was very appealing to me. Air Gear is about the best way to describe it is imagine like the first couple Fast and Furious movies about like illegal street racing, but instead of racing with cars, they have these very fancy, essentially rollerblades that have motors in them. But the like reason that it's illegal is because it's like the motors are like way more powerful than they need to be. So everybody just buys them and like mods the motors to be like way too fast, to the point where like people are scaling buildings and stuff, like riding up walls and things like that because they're going so fast. So it's basically like a bunch of street racing stuff, but with rollerblades. But it's also very like anime. So there's like not quite attacks, but kind of like special moves and specializations of things. Like as an example, I'm gonna like, you've started me. I'm gonna go on a whole rant about air gear now. So there's this concept in air gear, right? Where the whole like goal of most people is to find a way to like get so fast that you can fly, pretty much, or like something close to flying. And from what I remember, there were like 8 specializations of how to get there, that they call the 8 roads. And each of those roads had like a person who was the best at it. So those people were called the kings. So like as an example, there was a dude who would like, he could master the way in which he like controlled the friction of the wheels as he skated, so it would cause fire, and he was the Flame King, and he had like the fire road, so every like trick that he did caused fire to come out, and he had like a lot of fire based lore, and it was pretty cool. His name was Spitfire also, so it's like very on the nose. But this was like, heck yeah, teens, anime teen kind of vibes. So it was like, yeah, not subtle, but this is not the audience that they were reaching at the time. But yeah, so it was a lot of like that cool stuff. And so a lot of the like plot was following just like a handful of kids as they tried to become the best team, the best like racing team, and one kid in particular who's like trying to be the best skater, basically. Oh, look at that. I guess it did all come back to skating at some point. What do you know? But yeah, it's like, it's one of those things that's like, I would have enjoyed it a lot more, and I would recommend it to people a lot more, if not for the fact that there's also like some very unnecessary fan service type moments that occur. So just kind of be aware of that, I suppose. That's a thing that will happen, just like for no reason. And it's like, this didn't need to happen. This would have been very cool if not for this thing. Kind of like what's that anime? Fire Force. How there's like one girl who just for some reason always ends up with like her clothes torn for some like inexplicable, and it's like, you don't need to put this in for this to be good. Like, it's cool. Everyone does cool stuff. You don't have to do this part also. Oops, I didn't mean to make that many layers. I need one more though. But yeah, Fire Force is really good, but it's also like, I always have to like be wary of who I recommend it to, because it's like, you know, it's cool, but also Air Gear also had a thing that I very much enjoy when it's done in a way that I like. It's kind of hard to explain with that caveat, but it does a lot of like pseudoscience nonsense type stuff where it's like, oh yeah, because this person does this happens, and it's like that thing in anime about card games where they explain how they're playing the game, or like how their friends are like, oh man, they're so good at doing stuff from the sidelines, you know? It's a lot of that, like all the time, in Air Gear. like towards the later chapters when everyone does really crazy stuff. Like, the goofiest example that I can think of is a dude who, he was like part of the, he was like the electric guy. He was the electric king. And he fought a bunch of dudes on an aircraft carrier, and he did a thing where, like, because of the way the electricity is in the air in this cold weather on this ocean, it like caused it to snow, and then also like electromagnetism became a thing somehow. And so because of, like, it was a whole stupid long explanation of like, okay, now also I've made a snowman that fights you. And it was like, what's happening? But again, at the time it was like, yeah, teens, of course he has a fighting snowman. That's rad. I love this. But when I tried to like convince one of my friends to check it out, he was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, no, you don't understand. It's cool. So like, it's a very rule of cool type of thing as far as pseudoscience goes for me, I guess. So if it sounds like it kind of works and is cool enough that I don't care to look at it too hard, then you've probably got me with your anime. Only the cool kids get it. Man, now I'm over here thinking about Air Gear again. Wait, I just remembered something really stupid. Oh, man. Okay. All right, I promise I'm going to stop talking about Air Gear at some point. But I just remembered that there was a part in this where so one of the random fan servicey characters is a girl who doesn't skate, but is like one of the friends of the like protagonists. They like go to the same high school or something stupid like that. So she's basically like the team cheerleader, kind of. Like, you have to have a certain number of people on your team in order to do like a lot of the stuff. And so like she basically is just kind of there in case they need like a sub, right? Like someone to sub in if something goes wrong to one of the actual racers. Which like never happens. But I don't remember why or how, but at some point she swaps bodies with someone and they just kind of are like, yeah, this is happening now. And she just is another person for a while. And I don't remember how they resolved it or if they even really explained it. But the reason that it's so funny is because the person she swaps bodies with was President Obama. Because he was president at the time, and it was relevant to why they went to the aircraft carrier or something stupid like that. So it was like, yeah, now Obama's in this anime girl body for some reason. It was the dumbest thing in any media that I've consumed. Oh man, so funny though. And they like never address it. They're just like, yeah, of course it's Obama. Yeah. So silly. I can't believe I forgot about that. So yeah, if you really want to read a really strange thing about rollerblades, I guess, go seek out Air Gear wherever that is now. Oh man, I think it's like so absurd that I just blocked it from my memory. Psychic damage. Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh man. But also at the same time, I did really want it to continue as an anime for a while, because seeing that happen would have been very funny. The short lore dump in JoJo Part 8. I did not read JoJo. I don't remember how many parts. What part is Stone Ocean? 7? I'm at the beginning of that one. That was where I stopped last. I think I literally just watched the first episode and was like, okay. Part 6. Oh, man. There's a lot of things going on with that there, JoJo. Yeah, Cecil's got a wig or something. I don't know. I just felt like drawing him with different hair again. I was missing his long hair. And then there was like a whole thing about anime. It's been a very anime and skate heavy stream. Which reminds me, if you want a not super absurd skate anime that is still pretty absurd, Skate the Infinity is good. I was just reminded of that. And the fact that I wish there was more. He's like Moira Rose. Kind of? I didn't watch a ton of Schitt's Creek, so I can't say for sure. I have to get back into that. That show will forever be associated with Final Fantasy for me, though. Because I would just kind of have it on in the background while grinding Final Fantasy 14. Be like one monitor is running around doing story quests and the other one is Moira Rose and her wigs, I guess. Oh, she has a lot of wigs. That's true. Oh yeah, they had like names and stuff, right? It's been a minute. What shows have I recently seen from Western animation? Feel like I'm being put on the spot. Suddenly I can't think of anything. Oh no. I have not watched Centaur World. I want to, though. It's apparently quite good. Man, I'm trying to think of the most recent, like, not anime animation that I've seen. I think it might have been, what's that show that's on Netflix that's like from the Gravity Falls guy and someone else? About like that secret organization that runs the world. That might be the most recent. Main character of Dying Light 2. Oh, I've seen like one clip of someone playing Dying Light 2, and that makes so much sense. I was like, that voice is so familiar, but I don't know why or where from. I have not seen the Beast Stars, though. Oh, it is Troy Baker? Okay. That makes it even more even more understandable as to why he had a familiar voice. I'm glad Troy Baker backed out of the NFT thing. That was nice to hear. It's still kind of stupid that it happened in the first place, but still. Troy Baker Jr.? I didn't know there was a junior. John Scott. Oh, Troy Baker was gonna do a thing. Now I'm suddenly second guessing if it was Troy Baker. I'm pretty sure it was Troy Baker. Was gonna do a thing with NFTs, and everybody was like, don't, because that's dumb. And then eventually he was like, okay, I won't. Wait, it's not... who am I mixing up with Troy Baker then? It's some other voice actor. Man. The psychic damage dealt by Air Gear memories seems to have me all over the place at this point. Wait, so it is him? Rico, you're killing me. You're killing me, Rico. Still don't get NFTs. Yeah. They don't really make any sense. Every now and again I'll hear someone with a very good and silly description of them, but the one that I usually come back to is the that thing of like where you say that you bought a star, but it's just like a piece of paper that says that you bought a star. You don't actually own that star. You just have a piece of paper. That's basically NFTs. Stealing musicians' work from Spotify and using them as NFTs? Ugh. Those are your friends. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that. I've just kind of come to terms with the fact that I'm like 90% sure that at least one of my things has been stolen and made into an NFT, and that makes me sad. But also at the same time, it's like, I barely have enough energy to to just exist in this world. I'm not gonna be out here litigating everybody. It's like, cool, thieves, enjoy your time in the sun. Non-female titties. Every time I see it spelled that way, I think about, what was it, a Vine? It might have been a TikTok, I don't remember how old this thing is. That thing of where someone goes, like, you know that thing where someone puts, like, an English phrase into text-to-speech, and then they put the same phrase into like a Google Translate text-to-speech. They did that with the French one. So every time I see titties spelled with a D, I think of the French text-to-speech lady saying it. Where it was like, titties. It's like, oh, that's delightful. Delightful, hysterical, good. I just remembered that I'm drawing still. I'm just out here having a good time with all of my wonderful friends. And I was like, oh yeah, I have to like finish this somehow and do something. Autopiloting. Yeah, it's true. It happens to me a lot, actually. Unless there's like a thing that I'm specifically trying to do. I will autopilot a lot of the time for like the daily drawing type things. At least for like significant portions of it. So a lot of my daily drawings are basically just like things that I do to keep my hands busy while listening to podcasts or something. I got through one of the parts of JoJo that way. Actually, speaking of JoJo and anime things. The, which one was it? Diamond Unbreakable? Diamond is Unbreakable. Whichever part that was the part that I just kind of listened to for a lot of the time. I didn't enjoy that part that much. But only because it felt like the stakes were significantly lower than every other season up to that point. I think this is fine. Good enough, I guess. Let's go. Let's just go with this color, I guess, because it'll match his eyes. Or whatever. Can't even hardly see. I keep thinking about the air gear thing. Why did that happen? What was the point? I'm trying to remember and I can't. Like, I think it was just like a thing that happened. There was like a bunch of goofy political things that occurred as a result. And I think that's why it happened, because they needed like some sort of political context. I'm over here trying to rationalize air gear, by the way, still, if anyone's wondering. Because a thing that I feel should happen in like other such stories where a bunch of like high schoolers gain access to incredibly dangerous tools. Like part of the way through that story, the government shows up and they're like, yo, you guys are out here making fire with your skates? That's crazy. How can we weaponize this? And I think that's why Obama appears. That's never not going to make me laugh. Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I just remember it happened. It was also kind of funny because it was like, up to that point, it had that like nondescript modern day vibe, you know? Where it's like, this is a thing that's happening, maybe not in the real world, maybe not necessarily the same year that we're in. But then Obama appeared, and like this was while he was still actually president. So it was like, oh, so it's meant to be it's meant to be our present day with the real president here now doing something. Origins of Obama. Super popular concept. Yeah, exactly. It's like most action cartoons. But very rarely does it come in the way that Air Gear does when they're like, oh, wait, also, hold on, let's like make this something we can use in the military. It's usually like like if the military appears, it's because they want to capture the kids or something. It's not normally because it's like, oh yeah, these super tiny, super powerful motors would actually be very good for like tanks or something. So we're gonna come and find how you guys are doing this and then use them for that. Which is like the more accurate, like the more believable, I guess, thought process for me anyway. It would be like, oh yeah, of course they're here for those, for that, to do that. Of course. Because why wouldn't they? How do I feel about fanfic of the boys? Fanfic of the boys is fine, as long as it's not like X-rated. I would be interested to read it. Sometimes that sort of thing is fun, just to see what other people think of the boys. Because sometimes people are right. And sometimes they're not, and it's fun to see how different their interpretation of them is than the way that I have them interpreted in my own head. What color am I gonna make his shirt? I don't like this for the background, actually. What about this color? Oh, wait. I guess that's fine. You just want your ships to interact. Isn't that most fan fiction, though? I'm just kind of like slapping a bunch of layers on top of each other because I don't really know what I want for this background. Ever plan to make a story? Yes. I would do it if I had the time. But comics take a lot of time, actually. So I haven't been able to do it because I had previously just been doing this thing where I draw every day. And doing a whole finished drawing is not a thing I'm also able to do while also working on a comic. While also having a day job. It's not feasible. But now that I'm not like required to draw a thing every day because I decided I'm not doing that, maybe I will have time to do a comic at some point. There's one that I've been wanting to do, so I might just kind of start there and see how that goes. And then maybe someday kind of go back and give you guys some origin stories or something. But the one I've been wanting to do for a while is, as a teaser, I guess, a couple of the boys go on a trip. And that's all I'll say about it. But in my head, it's like trying to find a balance of like, what do I want to happen? Because a lot of the time, for this little idea, it would be the whole thing all at once. Probably. Like maybe I was gonna say maybe I'll put it on Gumroad, but that's not happening. Actually, I heard like itch.io is good for stuff. So maybe there or something. I don't know. But yeah, the thing that I have to like reckon with is that the balance that I always forget about as far as like comics is that I always like start with some like grand idea of like, oh yeah, I want this and this and this and this and also this to happen, right? But then it's like once you get into the actual making of the comic, you get like 3 pages in and you're like, none of these things have occurred. Not even close to happening. This is going to take so much time. So I'm sort of in the process of like trying, oh no, that's not at all what I wanted to have happen there. I'm sort of trying to balance around in my head like what I want to happen versus like what I would feasibly be able to convey in a thing that's not an 800-page epic that I'm definitely never going to finish. Like, I just want to tell a fun little story. I'm not out here trying to write Berserk. With these, like, highly complex pages. the comic shows some hidden lore. That depends on what you consider to be hidden lore. It would show more of like the relationships between the characters. But these are things that I have known forever. And I don't consider to be hidden lore. But as I found out with like the Halloween comic I did back in October, with this guy in particular, what I have in my head and what people understand about the characters is not at all the same thing. Because I remember when I first like drew Cecil, I was like, oh yeah, this is like the antagonist. He's not a nice person. They don't like him. And then everybody was like, I love him. But then in the Halloween thing, he finally was able to like show some of the reason why people are like so against being around him. And then everybody was like, oh yeah, he sucks actually. That was always my favorite part about what happened for the Halloween comic. Everybody was like, oh yeah, he's great. And then they saw him exist. And they were like, oh no, I hate him. I want nothing but misfortune and unhappiness for this boy, is what they said. Not really, but wouldn't that have been funny? Maybe this color instead, actually. Nope. Does it need to be even brighter? Yes, it does. Okay. It's mainly just you. You're the only one who still does it at this point, Jinx. But before this point, before the Halloween thing, there were more than just you in the Cecil fan club. Do I do story planning? So the way that you should do it is kind of plan it a little bit at least, and then like thumbnail it out, where you do quick small sketches of like, okay, this is gonna happen on this page, this is gonna happen on this page. The reason I say should is because as a person who has tried and failed a number of times to do comics, the part that always catches me is like not planning and not knowing what I'm going to do. Which is part of the reason that the Halloween comic is such a surprise for me, because I did that day by day. Like there were a couple things that I wanted to do, but for the most part I just made it up as I went. And there was only like one part that was just kind of like, this probably doesn't need to be here at all. So it worked out surprisingly well, but it made me realize that I need to, if I'm going to do a comic, I need to like sit down and figure it out before I actually start it, you know? That's not to say it has to be completely written from start to finish as soon as you even begin. But as far as like a self-contained story like the one I'm trying to write, I should at least have an idea of like, okay, I want this to happen and this to happen and this to happen. And I can kind of connect those dots as I go, but it would be more beneficial to me to figure these out before I get to the point where, in order to fix some story beat, I would have to redo a whole page or 3, right? I guess that's fine. Oh, I know what I kind of want to do is, is this what I want? I want to put some texture on the wall behind him, is what I'm trying to do here. I don't quite remember how I want to go about doing that. I guess maybe this. Maybe this. I should probably choose the correct color also. We don't want like a ton, we just want like a little bit so you can be like, oh, this is a wall behind him. But now I have to get the brush I was using before I do something stupid and I'm like, oh no, what happened? Junior captain. I can respect that. I guess that could be a thing, like going back to hidden lore that isn't hidden to me, but I guess might be hidden to you guys. Is about how Junior has like 4 other siblings that I never draw. No, wait. 3. Yeah, he has 3 siblings that someday I'll draw, but I haven't yet. So as captain of the Junior fan club, you can put that particular arrow in your quiver. When people are like, what makes you the captain? You can be like, how many siblings does he have? And then you'll know. And then you can prove it to them. And they'll be like, oh man, he's the one. Sepika, thank you for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful night. Felix's siblings? Yeah, Felix has a bunch of siblings. I have to draw his brother again sometime. It's been a long time since I've drawn him. Jesse's cousin? Yeah, Junior is Jesse's cousin. I think I'll just kind of put a new layer here. Junior is the oldest, yes. I don't know that I need both of those. I think I'll just do one. Or maybe I'll just do one here and just like delete that other layer. I think I kind of like that better. Oh, that's right. I started doing their eyes differently, so let me do that here. That's very valuable information. You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. These are the ships. Oh boy. Let's read. Jesse and Tank. That one's been around for a minute, so yeah. Cecil and Junior. That one is new to me. Kai and Roz. That one is one that I've seen. Felix and Kai is one that I've seen as well. That was the popular one before Roz moved. And Jesse and Cecil is not one that I've seen people get behind, but I could see where the thought process for that would come from. I haven't seen people in support of that particular combination. Some of my followers are investing. Interesting. Oh. Yeah. I passed Jesse Cecil during the Halloween. See, I would have, but that's one of those things that's like, at the start of the month, I was like, I only have 31 pages, and I need to have a resolution to what's happening. So I can't go on a whole tangent here about their backstory as much as I would love to. But I only have the 31 pages here. So I need to make it work. That's what I mean about like trying to plan out your stories and your comics ahead of time. Because it's like, yes, it would be lovely to tell all the things you want to tell, but you don't always have the time and the resources to do so. But I planted to see, yeah, that's the important part. You always gotta put a little bit of, you gotta do it like a D&D Dungeon Master style, where you just kind of sprinkle story threads everywhere, and that way you can kind of pick one at any random time and decide to flesh it out. I wasn't planning on doing one of these, but I kind of like it. I'm gonna go for that, actually. But I do want to see. Ooh. It's like I know how color works. Gradient maps are so magical. So magical and helpful. Think about your palettes and then just use gradient maps. That's my secret to color success. Like, think about your palette a little bit, so that when you put a gradient map on it, it's not going to be like unusable. But then just let the gradient map do all the work. I've bestowed upon you my knowledge. May you use it wisely. But anyone out there doing traditional art, I'm sorry. Learn color theory things more than I do, I suppose. I'm not the most learned in the traditional arts. Want to read the fanfics? I don't know. If you find them, tell me, because I would also love to read them. I've only read 2, and it's from people who have like sent them to me. But it was mostly from like friends who are writers, and they were like, I want to write a thing with the boys as practice. So it's not like a thing I can be like sharing with the world unless they post it somewhere. Good night, Jinx. Thank you for stopping by. Have a wonderful evening. But I think we're pretty much done with this one also, so, you know, that's cool. This was more of a rambly stream than an what's the word I'm trying to say? A stream where I explain stuff. Explanatory? Maybe? I don't know. One of those words. But here we go. Here's our time lapse. This was almost a junior drawing at first, and I didn't like that pose very much. But thank you for hanging out. Stopping by. Being real chill. But I think this will be it for me at this point. Oh yeah, it is Wednesday. Maybe I'll be back some other time. I might be more inclined to stream more frequently now that I have the ability to take days off in between. But plan to see me at least on Monday. That's when I should definitely be back. Maybe I'll be back at some point during the weekend. Who can say? But yeah, if you want to see this drawing and more drawings like it, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram with the same name. And if you want to watch this later, if you missed a part or just want to hear me talk at 2 times speed, you can watch it on YouTube. Or if you are currently watching this on YouTube at some point in the future from now, hello. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm sorry about all the rambling about air gear in this particular stream. I'm not sorry, it's true. But yeah, so it's been a fun one actually. I'll have to do some more rambling some other time. Those are always the silliest streams. But yeah, until I see you guys again, have a good one. Do something really cool for somebody. You know, just like some random person that you encounter in your day-to-day. Do something nice. Be like Batman about it. Just like do something cool and just like disappear. Don't like hang around, wait for some kind of reward or something. That makes it a little less fun. Go out there and be a chaotic good force for the world. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Farewell. Thank you for stopping by. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye.